Hi guys, putting here with the game for you in my Tier 10 US battleship, the Mighty Montana. Now my captain skills are going to be priority target, jack of all trades, expert marksman, basics of survivability, basic fire training, fire prevention, and concealment. My modules are going to be protect my main battery, DMCOM 1 and 2, AA mod 2, legendary mod, and American accuracy. Now, with the CV rework happening, the AA Montana build just wasn't cutting it like it used to. So I felt like there was an awful lot of points stacked up into just trolling carriers, and it just wasn't worth it anymore. And then they also did spotting mechanic changes. So with everything getting just a 10% reduction through the captain skills, I just felt like the module didn't really add too much. Now, if you notice, I am going quite slowly at the start, and that is because we are still deciding where to go. It looks like it's going to be a heavy push to C, but me and it called and said, hey, let's just angle up towards A. So, that's what I'm trying to do. Obviously I'm, picking up speed because, we finally decided what to do. But more importantly, I didn't want to run into, I believe it's the Minotaur sitting next to me. Now, on our way to, what was it, A camp? We were going to, oh, geez, thank you, Discord. We were going to test the waters at sea. But, you know what, I'm seeing a broadside Salem, so might as well try to take a shot. But unfortunately, he is turning a little bit, and then I'm like, well, there's a Minotaur just parked behind an island. Oh, there's a Z-23. You know what? Let me take a shot at the Z. Now I'm shooting just a wee bit in front of him, hoping that he's going to drift into it. Managed to get off all of my guns onto that poor Z, and I get 3 cap resets, and I let me know, I took off 4K off that poor Z. He's like, well, I'm not going to push with a Minotaur there. So I'm looking at the mini-map, and I see that it's a Minotaur and a Destroyer, the Gearing. And it looks like the Gearing's engines are out, which is why I'm pretty much shooting almost directly at his nose. But of course, with everyone that's so much closer, they're going to snag the kill before I did. Now, with the information that I have is pretty much just a Minotaur at A, and we have a Stalingrad, a Kurfürst, and one other ship that's jungled in that mast. I can't tell. And of course, then we have means. So I'm figuring, well, like, oh, it's another DD. I figured, if there's 4 ships versus 1 Minotaur, the Minotaur shouldn't survive against 4 ships. He may be able to take out 2 of them, but he shouldn't be able to take out all 4 of them. And if he takes out all 4 of them, we're in deeper doo-doo than we kind of anticipated. So what I'm doing is cutting back in, because if you notice, we picked up one of our clan members who, in all honesty, we just happened to be in the same game, and he lived up with us. But he's calling for some support. Mean says, you know what, I should be able to take care of Paddle. It's just a matter of will he kill me or not. Now I'm trying to get shots in, obviously, on this Minotaur. I'm never going to get shots in on Paddle because he's just way too close to the island, and there's no little gap. I get a nice 17k damage with a Citadel done to him. Now, I do believe he is slowing down, but I thought maybe he would drift out a little bit because, you know what, Minotaurs are known for their drifting ability. But it looked like really what he was doing was turning and running, and I should have been paying attention to the mini-map for any sort of angle changes on him. And, I mean, that's what was going through my mind, and then I saw what he really was doing. He was slowing down and smoking up, but that second salvo, I thought maybe he was turning and running. See the Cleveland, and I'm like, okay, the Cleveland is not going fast. So I thought he was going to maintain a half speed with the second salvo, which would have actually been the front guns. But I'm betting the Cleveland is running the engine module because it was he was able just to back up. Now, if you notice, I'm still trying to do what Montana's do best, and that's shoot and kill cruisers. But, you know, I mean, fortunately for me, like, nobody's shot at me or paid attention. I'm full health for the most part still. Now, with that thought being in mind, there's a Frederick D. Grosser, a Salem, and two DDs down here. So what I was thinking was, let me get a little bit closer to the Freddy because I am running something for AA. And you know what? The more AA you can stack on, the better. But you know what? Let me see if I can become a target for these two Kerr first to potentially leave our destroyers or our Salem or something else alone. Because I wasn't entirely sure what they were shooting at as I aimed a little bit behind, but luckily got some shells in on the rear end. Now, of course, I am in communication with my division mates, and you know what? While sometimes I don't talk very much, even when I am in division and in chat with them, I am listening to what they are saying. So, like, if he calls somebody use DCP, depending on what it is and what the health is, I may switch to HE or not. But there are plenty of HE spammers down here to really just reignite the fires. Now it's at this point that Mean calls out and says, I can't take on a Benson. I just don't have the health. I'm like, well, I'll give you one salvo. I'm like, because I'm going to start turning into, I've got issues of my own. Now the nice thing with the rudder shift from the legendary mod is you can actually kind of show your broadside to these guys and quickly turn in, or realistically what you can do is angle up and then re-angle up on, you know, like angle to where it looks like it's your broadside and then just angle very hard. I guess what I was trying to say. But I noticed that out of the 3 people shooting me, one just died and the other one is a cruiser. So really the only person I need to be wary of is the Kerr first. Now the Salem, I do believe used some AP on me, and you know what, that's probably because he thought I was going to go broadside. Whew. I don't know why I'm yawning so much, guys. But I see the carrier got some torp hits in, and you know what, it just seems like carriers and their torpedoes just don't do the damage like they used to, and with the flooding mechanic changes, torpedo planes just aren't as dangerous as they were. So I was trying to help out the carrier while the Kerr first was broadside, but I do believe for whatever reason my dispersion was not very well. I see torpedoes going in, but I'm like, you know what, I don't care, this guy needs to die. Hopefully somebody can finish him off because I aimed improperly. I didn't give enough lead. I was just off by a little bit. But now we're left with the Salem and Cleveland. And what I really love about this build is, yes, I'm using the flags also for reduced fire and reduced flooding. Is this... It's actually really easy to farm a Dreadnought in this ship, as I do a nice 13k damage to a Salem without getting Citadel. But the one thing unique about Salems, if you do not know, is they have British-esque heal. It's not on the same level. It's just a tad bit lower. Now, I noticed that he is turning out, and luckily my guns were reloading, and if they were loaded, I was going to wait for him to go broadside, as I managed to fail to get another Citadel, but I still did nice damage and got a lot of pens on to the gentleman. I want to deal with him first instead of the Cleveland. Salem has longer radar, and it has nastier AP. Like, if the Cleveland switches AP now, I'd pretty much be laughing right now. But I was kind of trying to sight up the Cleveland instead of the Salem while I was reloading. It's, like I said, it looks like the Cleveland is definitely running the engine module, because he really just seems to cut down the speed. And you know what, that's shame on me, because I identified it earlier and I failed to remember it this time. But what I'm thinking at this point is, well, Cleveland, it's now time to die. You are out of friends. Now, unfortunately, is when we find out that they had an AFK Musashi who could have made a difference. And as you can see, torp planes are coming in on me, and I'm not even bothering to turn. I just don't care. I have the health to eat the damage, and if he does get a flood, it's not going to be on forever. But more importantly, if I get a flood and it communicates to the Cleveland that I got a flood, Cleveland's going to open up, which he did. I do believe he suspected that I possibly would have eaten a flood just from the way those torps came in, as I just blap him. Did not kill him, but I still managed to do a really nice chunk of change to the poor Cleveland. Now, normally I would, would like a little bit more potential damage, but I'm not going to argue with 1 million, but it could have been more. To me, it kind of came down to don't let it occur first as paying attention to me early on. But this is what I mean by what I love with I guess you can say this zombie build, or the survivability build with the Montana with this legendary mod. As somebody's calling out something in chat, so I just was being funny and go, well, there's a live CV at C10. I'm not going to waste my time shooting at a Bowin Musashi even at this range, even if he is AFK. I just don't care. And if you can see, I got a fire, and it was sub 30 seconds. It's 28 seconds that I'm on fire. And because I am running fire prevention, it's going to be very difficult for this guy or even cruisers to get another fire on me. I do have 2 destroyers with me. They may be lower tier, but it's still more AA. And you know what? Just turning slightly maybe made this guy really not connect. Maybe it is exactly 30 seconds on fire. All I know is I saw 29 when it first come up, but it's still like, you just saw him go back to back with fires on me, and fires are like the damage you get from the fires. You're gonna heal all of that back 100%. And as you can see, the only damage done to me was just the damage of him getting the damage from dropping the bombs on me, which is why I still put a little bit in the AA for this, because he's just not going to do the alpha damage anymore to hurt me, and I do enjoy it. But unfortunately for the ramblings going on, is going to be for the shot that is about to happen on the poor Midway. Now, hopefully I'm going to be able to pause this at the exact right time so I can show and explain exactly what I'm doing. Now, the way it was explained to me is this is what you want to aim for on midways from now on if you ever run into one. Instead of aiming for here, you want to aim right for the nose, because this is still a CV at the end of the day, but it is a Montana hull that the Midway was built on. But the other thing is the armored deck. You'll be surprised at how many shells bounce, but you really want to aim straight at the nose. And I just thought that would be some nice information to pass on as I just blap him and we check out the post-battle results. Now, I hope you guys really did enjoy this video, and of course I wanted to showcase this because, well, 6 Citadels on a Midway is fairly uncommon, and I wanted to pass along that information I did learn about fighting bow on Midways with you guys. Even at range, you still want to aim, if he's coming at you, at his nose, because that is your best chance for damage instead of bouncing off his armored deck. Time for the plugs. Please remember to check out Oni the Wicked, Static the Warmonger, Lord Zath, and Sea Raptor when they do stream. Zath on Saturdays, Sea Raptor on Tuesdays, and the other two guys have a dedicated schedule. The other thing is, don't forget Kings of the Seas final is coming up this Saturday, and that will be done through Wargaming's main page. We do love all the support you guys do give us. We do love the email, the replays you send in, and the email for that is in the description down below, even though we've had hiccups over the last 2 weekends for that, and I apologize for that, guys. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. Please hit that like and subscribe button and have yourselves one heck of a great day.